So what tools might you use to create your wireframes? Of course, there's pen and paper. You can always use that. And sometimes I think it's a good idea to start there. Just get your thoughts out there, do something nimbly with your hands. It's kind of nice to start design processes with your hands instead of the computer. However, eventually I would suggest that wireframes should end up in the computer, if only that it allows you to revise them more easily. Oftentimes you go through multiple phases when working with a client, and presenting a first set of wireframes will oftentimes lead to changes that need to be implemented. And if you're working by hand, you just have to start over, right? Or you erase and everything gets kind of smudgy. So I like working on the computer for final wireframes. So Illustrator is another fine option for a tool to create wireframes. It allows you to create boxes and text and lines, and that's kind of all we need for wireframes, right? So the example here is a wireframe I created in Illustrator for an architecture studio, and what you're seeing here is the wireframe for the landing page. Where Illustrator can get tricky is that it allows you to do kind of too much, right? You put down a piece of type, you actually have to choose the typeface, and you might get into this rabbit hole of hunting for the best typeface for your wireframes, where, as I said before, it's not the time to make those kind of decisions. So instead, there are some designated wireframe tools out there, and the one that I really like is called Balsamiq. It's made with the sole purpose to allow you to create wireframes. They have an app that you can download and install on your computer, but they also have a cloud-based tool that works in your browser. And the nice thing is that they actually give you a 30-day free trial to try out their software. So I would really encourage you to create your wireframes for this class in Balsamiq. And I think you'll find the software quite intuitive and easy to learn. I'm just going to give you a quick tour so you'll get an idea of how the software works. So here I am logged into Balsamiq Cloud, and you can have multiple projects here, and you see there's already one that I created, which is for a previous lecture, right? I created all the form UI elements that I showed in a previous lecture here in Balsamiq. And you'll see these patterns come with Balsamiq. You don't have to create them on your own. So if I wanted to add another checkbox item here, I can double click. There's a specific easy to learn syntax. So if I wanted to add another checkbox item that isn't selected, I can do that, and there it is in my wireframe. So let me create a quick wireframe from scratch. I can create a new wireframe that's completely blank and add a few elements. And I find the best way to work with Balsamiq is to use the quick add function. You just type in what you need. So first thing I'll need is a browser window. Right now, type in browser, and here in the list the UI element actually shows up. I click on it, and there it is. Right, so now I can make it bigger. I can double click on it. There are some options. Right, my site, my site.com. These two things now show up in the browser window. And since I don't want to inadvertently select this browser window, I can lock it by right clicking on it and saying lock. All right, so what else are we going to add here? Maybe a logo. For that, I usually just use an icon and a label pattern. There it is, some text underneath, just an empty icon. If I click on it, I can label it, and I can also add some links. So there's a button bar pattern. I can have a comma separated list here. Let's just say about us, our products, and contact. Then we'll add a title for the page title. And maybe this about us page just has a video player and a caption. So I can search for video, add a player here, resize it however I want. And then let's say there's a caption to the left of it just describing what this video will show us. If I search for block, I'll get this pattern called a block of text. Maybe we don't know what that caption will say, we just know it'll say something, right? So instead of having to write it at this point, we'll just indicate, oh, there's going to be some text there. At this point, I should also show you that there's actually two flavors of this wireframing skin that Balsamiq comes with. If you go to the project info, there is a skin option right here on the bottom. And right now I'm using the sketch skin, which has quite a bit of a hand drawing feel to it. But there's also a more streamlined wireframe skin that looks a little bit cleaner, right? So it kind of depends what you prefer. So let's quickly create a second wireframe for the Our Products page. I can just go to the page here on the left and click on duplicate, and then I have a copy of the previous wireframes. I can delete the elements I don't need. This title becomes products. Here, when I click on the button bar, I can change which link is actually active. So now our navigation reflects the page that we're on. And here, maybe we just have some thumbnail images. So image, that's just a box with an X. Make that a certain size, and I can hit Command D to duplicate it. And now I have 4 products that presumably when we click on them go to a detail page, right? So my second wireframe is already done in this very simple example anyway. The last thing I'll show is you can use this tool also to make a clickable prototype. Let's actually name our wireframes here. So this is about, this one is our products. So now when I click on the button bar on the About Us page, there are links. The Our Products link goes to the Our Products page. And then on the Our Products page, the About Us links to About. Then I can use Balsamiq to actually have a click through. So I do that by going into the presentation mode with the link on the top right corner, full screen presentation. And now I can click on About Us, go to the About Us page, click on Our Products, or toggle back and forth. And it seems like I'm navigating this website, and you can kind of see how this can become fairly complex. I gotta say, I don't use Balsamiq all that often in that way. I usually just print things out or make PDFs and send it to a client and then have a discussion about them. But since this is cloud-based, you could actually send a link to a client, have them navigate through your wireframes.